My most cherished memory of Michael Sorkin, that's easy. It was August 31st, 2019, at the Green Living Room, grand soft opening, but we called it the hard hat happening. And I was shooting for the moon and wondered if Michael could fly in from wherever he was in the world and be here for this really important time, because we wanted to share with the world the very first time the house as garden design that we had been percolating on for several years at that point, since December of 2016 when we met. So House as Garden was one of 5 award-winning designs that were offered through a competition by the City of New York, Department of Housing, an international call for design. We had over 400 applicants from 37 countries, I think, and House as Garden was one of the 5 winning entries. And he just carried our work up from its fundamentals into the stratosphere and across the finish line for some very important submissions that we were putting through. People were enraptured. People were his excitement was their excitement, was my excitement. It was just excitement. And it was such love and pride. So that's my fondest memory. The impact that Michael has had on my trajectory as an educator is a very fine point, which is when you are super duper smart, as he was, and when you are engaged in something highly technical, which he was, and when you are working on a product for human beings, as he was, finite and detailed things, but to do it in a way that it really could communicate and land in the heart of a person. As a person who's not an architect, his impact on architectural pedagogy would have to, from my perspective, be experienced through my friends and colleagues who work so closely with me. And as I listen to the members of my team, which include a couple of architects, urban planner, general contractor, attorney, real estate broker, and others in the real estate realm, I think that what they take away or conclude about Michael is that there is a living unit. There is a living, breathing unit. And so the idea that we are sharing the planet with as beings who have different forms, but ultimately that we're all living in, amongst, and for each other, I think that is a unique perspective that we observe from watching him do his work. Michael's legacy is no holds barred, hat over the wall, shoot for the moon, dream it, build it, love it, live in a way that you can be a contribution to whatever is going to follow you. That he was building for a future that he saw in his spirit, for what he knew was right for human beings and for a living planet, and not afraid to come up against whatever barriers or whatever belief systems would want to have a chilling effect on something great and new. But to be able to say that Michael had a legacy of looking past what is and creating what ought to be, no holds barred, left nothing on the field. Hey cousin, I love you so much, thank you.
She is irresistible.
So say
as you all know.
Yeah.
No, I'm in love with this person.
Okay.
And not just for her dynamism and magnetism, but for the strength of her ideas.
I am here to tell you that Blacks in Green is on a mission. We're able to be on a mission because we have a team that, bar none, is out to create the world that we say we deserve. And every Thursday night for the past year now, we've been meeting to focus on bringing House as Garden into reality, bringing the Emmett and Mamie Till Mobley House Museum, Garden and Theater into being, the 16 Great Migration Gardens of West Woodlawn into being, and the team that is doing this work isn't being paid a dime, and they show up like warriors, wise, warm, just wonderful people looking for how to give their all to leave the world better than they found it. And so this is my thank you. Hundreds of community members who have shown up with a pat on the back, a contribution. I want to thank our alderwoman, Jeanette Taylor, for standing sometimes as a single force, moving our project down the channel. Thank you from Blacks in Green and our team at the Institute for Community Control Development, where we work to bring free and low-cost services for the development of our communities for what we call the age of the neighbor, investor, and developer. And as you know, at Blacks in Green, we're committed to that walk to work, walk to shop, walk to learn, walk to play village, owned by African American households, where we are owning the businesses, owning the land, and living the conservation lifestyle. So to reinvent that walkable village here in the age of climate crisis, the Institute for Community Control Development brings to you the full spectrum of real estate services so that we can own ourselves, live sovereign, be triumphant, and self-express that genius that we are world-renowned for. We're writing a new narrative for Blackness here on planet Earth. Join us at Blacks in Green. I'm Naomi Davis. Thank you. We have our ancestors to answer to, and we are proud to be able to stand and deliver against any and all odds. That's who we are as a people. And then we have great cousins.
When the moon touches the ocean,